record on this computer. Okay, we are live. Vito, how are we doing? I think this is a special week since I, in my opinion, I feel like a hiccup occurred last week. We were doing pretty consistent with you sending me your daily meals throughout the day, each day, and there was a drop off of that where I didn't receive anything from Wednesday of last week to I think yesterday.
Sunday.
So, okay, so that means Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are unaccounted for on my end. I have
Right,
no
right,
idea what you ate.
right,
And we actually missed a week of consultation.
right,
So,
right.
understanding that we're recording this and that we are going to post this live on YouTube, you don't have to go into the details as to what the issues were if
Of
it's
course
something
not.
personal. But I'm here as your consultant and as a person who's invested in your progress. So whatever you can tell me, I'm here to listen, and mainly I'm trying to figure out how I can better assist.
Oh man, thank you for that. Yeah. Hope everything's going well with you and the frequency. Uh um yeah, last week, man, I maintained some really good eating habits and it's been including today, man, I've been on a tear workout wise. I've been getting a really solid sweat in maybe every other day. Um, uh, and so maybe not a 7 day week, but like a work weekish 5 days. This has been a really good active past couple of days for me.
Okay.
Um, Leading into this week, actually, I have a lot of free time. Other than work, aside from work, I got a lot of free time. So, including like I mentioned, including today, starting off the week great. I had to wake up at 7 for something, and I could have gone back to sleep. And I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm awake. Not only do I have errands to run, um, I last worked out Saturday, and my body's been feeling it since Saturday. And I was like, fuck it, let's just keep it rolling. Yeah, I got a really good fucking workout in today as well. Um, and then yeah, yeah, man.
Well, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So you haven't fallen off anything.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Just my usual, sweet thing here, sweet thing there. But yeah, no, not at all, man. Not
Okay.
at all.
That's
Yeah,
good to know.
yeah,
How
yeah.
can I ask how come I haven't been receiving the daily food intake?
Personal things, man. Personal things. That kind of was like, sorry to leave you hanging high and dry. That kind of wasn't something that my mind was like focused on, you
Okay.
know?
All right. So
No, my mind was focused on not bullshitting with my eating,
yeah,
you know?
you just
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
logging it
Huh?
and stuff like that. You just weren't logging it and stuff like that.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's I'm happy to hear that because the only thing that I'm doing, I'm creating pictures as to what I would do in a
Yeah.
circumstance like this. And if I fall off and I stop tracking what I'm eating, then the reason I'm not tracking what I'm eating is because I'm not eating well.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
no, no. No, it wasn't
okay.
that at all. Yeah, no, dude, I'm so fucking dialed in.
Okay.
Now, once again, this is all on Vito's track, all on
Sure.
Vito's pace. So, like yesterday, I did not. No, I'm lying. I did have something sweet yesterday. Yeah. So this is all on Vito's pace. Like I'm still having, something sweet every day, but it's becoming less and less.
That's good.
And the eating's well. And then like I said, man, I've been factoring in working out at home, here at work,
Absolutely.
the gym, to the point where and it sucks that we didn't have the call last week, man, because I was thinking about it last week. I'm I'm not only feeling the change
Hmm.
in my body, in my movement, but I'm seeing it. And it's weird because the scale is really not budging. it's the scale's not budging, which is frustrating, but in a way, I'm all right with that because physically I'm feeling and I'm seeing the change. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
which is also helped. The other day I remember, kind of like flexing in the mirror, thinking like, man, I'm looking good. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing that. Thinking, man, come on, Vito, you need to fucking cut the shit with the little bullshit eating you're doing, the little snacks you're doing, because if you do that, then you're really going to be able to see more.
It's a bit interesting. I've been thinking about this for obviously since we've decided to start working together,
Yeah,
because based off of the times that you do send me your food intake for the day,
yeah,
every single time, most often, I'm going to say 80% of the time, it looks like you're eating in a deficit based off of your current body weight and the food that you're sending me. Granted, we don't have the exact calories since we're not calorie tracking at this point in time,
mhm,
but I am doing some rough estimates. And even if I err on the side of, let's say you're eating more calories than you actually are,
right,
then typically it looks like you're eating about 2,000, maybe 2,200 calories a day.
yeah,
And I don't know, it's interesting because the typical not taking you to a doctor or having some kind of test completed where we actually get your basal metabolic rate for the day, where we would actually calculate how many calories you're burning each day. The rule of thumb is like you take your body weight and you multiply that by 10, and then that's your recommended amount of calories that you are probably burning throughout the day, right?
right,
It could be the case that your metabolism is slower than what might be the indicator for someone
right,
of your height and body weight. That could be the case.
yeah,
In which case, if you're eating 2,000 calories, maybe your maintenance calories is 2,100 or 2,200, which would only put you at a 200 calorie deficit, in which case you would not really lose that much weight, or you wouldn't lose weight very quickly because the deficit isn't substantial.
yeah,
With that being said, I will always emphasize that when it comes to the pursuit of weight loss, operating in any deficit is far more important than, you know, drastic. Like you don't need to drop weight very quickly as long
yeah,
as you are steadily losing weight. And if you're maintaining, because like you mentioned that the scale hasn't really changed that much.
yeah.
Now, when you say that, are we talking it's just stayed the same? Has it gone up? Has it gone down?
In the past maybe 3 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because uh, we last spoke 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I go on my digital scale at home. I used to do it every day. Now I may do it every other day.
Okay.
It's fluctuating between the exact same three digits, you know, um, 260 something, 260 something, 260 something. You know what I mean? So it's like one day it's this. It could be two down, then it will be one up, whatever the case may be. Um, uh, what was the question you asked? Yeah, you had
No,
asked.
yeah. Okay, so it can be two down one week and then it'll go up and then
Yeah,
that's how it's kind of been going.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I guess my next question is how do we feel about that? I know
I
you already
mean,
kind of commented on it, but
yeah, but kind of telling myself, oh, maybe it's because I'm lifting. Maybe it's because maybe I'm gaining muscle. I can
hmm.
clearly see the muscle on me, so I'm kind of not as down on myself as I may usually would have been because I know that, oh, okay, I'm gaining muscle. But at the same time, it's a little frustrating because I know I'm not overeating. I know I'm not eating junk food. I know I'm not eating bullshit, you know? And when I say junk food, I mean like shitty food, fast food, or, overeating.
Hmm.
The other day, I want to say Saturday or today's Monday, Saturday or yesterday, um, it was yesterday. I found myself because I worked out so good Saturday. I guess yesterday I kind of had an appetite, and
Hmm.
and I also worked yesterday, which I usually don't work Sundays, but so I worked a longer shift, and and I kind of spread out my food like I usually do, my meals like I usually do, because I'll usually eat when I'm hungry. And I did have a bit of appetite yesterday, so I did eat. And I still, and mind you, oh, and I also sent you and it wasn't bad. It wasn't fucking heavy. You know what I'm saying? A salad and those egg wedges, and then later raisin bran and whatever the case may be. But but it was weird because yesterday I felt for the first time in a while I felt like I had overeaten,
Mm.
and I was like, and I felt full and nasty, and you know, and but as far as the deficit, it's the same thing, man. I'm eating when I'm hungry, and I'm not overeating. I'm eating when I'm full. Um, I'm drinking tons of water. I actually stopped logging uh my water intake because I'm just drinking tons of water every day.
Hmm.
Um, no more, still no more than 2 cups of coffee a day at max. And admittingly, this past week I've been really good with my sweets. I some days I went without sweets. Last week I was with some family, and sweets were accessible, and Vito was not interested. You know, and yeah, I'm dialed in. I'm dialed in.
Okay.
I may have to tune it up a bit, but I'm looking forward to this week and the time that I have to kind of just focus on myself and my eating, and and am I working out?
That's great. I love the healthy habits that you're establishing. Um, I would say, for the sake of this conversation and moving forward, I feel that the things that I have to offer is just the encouragement of the next level. Because you could stay where you are, right? And there's nothing wrong with where you are so far as eating when you're hungry, being mindful. Mindful eating is a fantastic practice where it's like, okay, I'm going to eat that, but I'm not going to eat that. And when I'm eating something that I know I really shouldn't be eating, I'm monitoring how much of that thing I'm going to eat, and I'm eating for the fact that I just like the taste of it, but I'm not going to overindulge on this one specific thing. Mindful eating is a fantastic practice that I would encourage you to take on for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Don't become a slave to your impulses and just eat whatever's in sight. And, that's not going to promote the right habits, right?
Yeah. All right.
So saying that, yeah, you can continue as you are. And I guess the reason why I'm mentioning this is because if you are not achieving the specific results that you want for yourself with this practice, then modifications are required. With that being said, okay, let's say, all right, we're in week 5 right now, right?
Yeah.
Week 5 comes and goes and you experience no weight loss. You stay at the same weight. And then week 6 comes and goes and it's the same weight, but you feel better
Mhm.
and you see it in the
Which
mirror
is
where it's mhm,
currently my situation.
good,
But go
good.
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my point is that when we first got on, your goal was to lose 30 pounds. Now, that could be just like an arbitrary number. Like for me, my goal is to hit 5% body fat, right? And if I don't hit it, then I haven't I haven't achieved my goal. And like
Yeah.
that's specific and it's personalized
Yeah.
to me and my pursuits.
Yeah.
For you, losing 30 pounds it could not mean the same thing that hitting 5% means to me, where it could
Right.
just be like a thing that you would like to have happen, but in order to actually achieve it, there might be adjustments to your daily routine,
Yeah.
even beyond what you're currently doing in order to
Yeah.
achieve that goal, which
Yeah.
might not be vital or essential to your actual health and wellness journey.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mentioned it earlier. I was uh checking myself out fully naked in a full body mirror, in a
Hmm.
full mirror, and seeing the change in my body was fantastic. But then
Okay.
knowing, damn, if only I cut down, on the little bullshit eating I'm doing, on the snacking, or if I, like you mentioned, make adjustments and make minor tweaks.
Hmm.
I know that my results would better. So I
Hmm.
did have that thought. I just um yeah, I gotta figure out. Maybe you and I in a later date can discuss and brainstorm, but I gotta figure out what I gotta change, or what I can change. Off the top of my head, I'm sure it's the bullshit knickknack eating here or there, the really, really cut out on the sweets. Though, like I said, I've really toned that down. Um, yeah, it's weird because it's like other than that, I really don't know what more I can do.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting conundrum. And the only way, the only solution that I have, instead of waiting to talk about it, I think, what else are we what are we doing right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, the only solution that I have, and I have been spending time thinking about this, is, again, it goes back to the scientific approach, which is tracking calories and understanding exactly how much you're eating each day. And then through that, that's how you actually make modifications. For instance, let's say hypothetically, you actually were eating 1,900 calories a day on average, right? This is just an arbitrary number. I'm just throwing it out there. And this is based off of what you're sending me, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you're eating 1,900 calories a day and you do that for an entire week, right? And that week comes and goes, all 7 days, you ate 1,900 calories every single day, and you experienced no weight loss. You know what that means?
Mm.
It means that you are eating enough to maintain your basal metabolic rate, which suggests that you need to eat less than 1,900 calories in order to lose weight. Because again, the simple truth when it comes to weight loss is calories in, calories out. So if you're eating 1,900 calories a day for a week and you experience no weight loss, that means you need to reduce the amount of calories that you're eating. And the only way that we can actually confirm that fact is if we actually know exactly how many calories you're eating each day. Another way of breaking it down, and again, this is like scientific, this is the mathematical approach, but to me, this is the only solution to actually discovering what modifications might be required. How does it break down? 3,500 calories is 1 pound of fat, right? So if you were to put yourself, and again, the information I'm giving you now will get reinforced and reaffirmed repeatedly because,
Right.
it took me years to actually get this down in my head. So if it goes over your head, we'll continue to discuss it over time, right?
Yeah.
So basically, when it comes to weight loss, and let's say we're just taking 1 week, right? 7 days. If you put yourself on a 500 calorie deficit every single day for 7 days, that adds up to 3,500 calories deficit for the entire week, right? So 500 on Sunday, 500 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it adds up all the way to 3,500 calories you burned, less than you actually needed, right? As a result, you will have lost 1 pound of fat, hopefully fat, if you kept your protein up. If you kept your protein up, then you will hopefully have lost 1 pound of fat as a result of being in a 3,500 calorie deficit for the week, right? But that means we have to have a very firm understanding as to how many calories you're burning each day for us to calculate that 500 calorie deficit for the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you've answered this already. I don't think I've asked,
Sure.
but would my calorie intake have anything to do uh, per day? Would it reflect on a workout day or a non-workout day?
Absolutely, absolutely. The common rule of thumb, especially for like it can get pretty high level. And if we're just beginners starting out on a fat loss journey and we're not athletes or we're not like training for a competition, like our goal is just weight loss, then you really want to go with your basal metabolic rate or your resting metabolic rate. So how many calories you're burning while you're resting, just sitting on your ass, your
Yeah.
body is burning calories, right?
Yeah.
So my encouragement, and I'm sure there's plenty of people would also agree, is that we want to figure that number out. So if it's again arbitrary number, if you're burning 2,200 calories just sitting, breathing, and that's what your body's burning, then we want to subtract 500 calories of that, and that comes out to, I'm terrible at math. I want to say 1,700. I want to say 1,700, but it might be 1,600. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, 1,500. Yeah, 1,500, right? No, that can't be right. 1,700. That's it. I'm sticking with that, and I'll fact check myself later. All right. So 500 calorie deficit of 2,200 calories. If that's what you're burning just from breathing, sitting on your ass, lying in bed, that's the amount of calories that your body needs to maintain itself, right? You want to put yourself in 500 calories less than that. That comes out to 1,700 calories. And then anything you do outside of just breathing, lying, sitting on your ass, if you're walking, you're burning more calories than 2,200. If you're playing basketball, riding a bike, working out, you are burning extra calories. And that's good. That's
Yeah.
good because now we're making that gap between 1,700 calories of what you're eating greater because you just burned, instead of 2,200 calories, you burned 2,400 calories from walking for an hour, or you burned 2,500 calories from walking and then you did a workout and then you played basketball. But now instead of being in a 500 calorie deficit, you're in a 1,000 calorie deficit. And that's even better. Instead of another way that you could do it is you could calculate your workouts and you can calculate, okay, so I played basketball for 1 hour and this is when it gets like kind of muddy and I don't recommend it. They have like fitness watches and shit like
Right.
that like
Right.
track how many calories you're burning when you're like doing
Right.
an activity.
Right.
It's not super accurate, which is why I
My,
don't. Mhm.
right. My wife recommended I get one of those, but go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, you could do that. And honestly, you can do it as a hack in order to eat more because like let's say that like you are burning 2,200 and you want to put yourself on a 500 calorie deficit at 1,700, and by the time you eat your 1,700 calories you're fucking hungry, right? You want to eat more. You could, in order to compensate for that, and you want to maintain your 500 calorie deficit so you can lose a pound a week, you could go on a walk for 45 minutes and potentially burn, let's say, 400 calories based on the pace of your walking and stuff like that, right? So now, because you added that walking of 45 minutes, you can eat 400 additional calories and still
Yeah.
maintain that 500 calorie deficit.
It random that you're mentioning this during that breakdown today on both the Stairmaster and treadmill, which I don't really pay attention to the screen.
Hmm.
Maybe distance, of course, I'll keep an eye on time. I'll keep an eye on
Hmm.
calories. I'll look at, but I did have a second today looking at the calorie burned, thinking, oh shit, is this something maybe I should start?
Yeah.
Because I do whenever I do go to the gym, 95% of the time, for even if it's for 15 minutes, that's really minimal. But I'm always on that. I'm always on the uh, stairmaster. I'm actually finding my way getting into that recently, but if it's not the stairmaster, it's the treadmill. But I was thinking that today. Oh shit, maybe I should be kind of calculating this.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that when it comes to losing weight, eating more and moving more is better than eating less and moving less. But again, it always goes back to the same goal. You can't lose weight if you are eating more than you're actually burning. It's calories in, calories out. So for body composition concerns, if you are creating a deficit through exercise and activity, walking, resistance training, lifting weights, and you're perhaps eating more than you would if you're not doing those things, then your body is going to look differently than if you're just like sitting on your ass all day, but you're eating 500 calories less than you're burning.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Your body will come off more toned, it'll be more active. Walking alone is a fat loss tool because it's targeting fat stores as a source of energy when you're walking, as opposed to if you're doing something a bit more aerobic like basketball. You're likely going to be targeting glucose as the source of energy for higher intensity things that actually engage higher zone. It's like a zone 6, or I think zone 5. When your breathing gets to a certain level and your heart rate increases, it starts targeting glucose, which is carbohydrates, as opposed to fat stores. That's again, uh,
Yeah, no, man, that's so awesome, man.
yeah,
And like that's I'm so fucking uh sorry once again to interrupt. Yeah, it's like awesome, these past couple of weeks talking and then just hearing you now. It's great to hear like how knowledgeable you've become. I would imagine over the time that you've been doing this and that we've known each other. And yeah, man, it's fucking awesome that you know that and then that you're able to kind of pass that down to me, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
no, it's definitely and I feel like I'm just really getting into it. I can see myself being even becoming an expert on all of this as time progresses. But I'm happy that I know what I do know right
Yeah.
now. And I honestly see your journey as something of a bit of a puzzle, because my approach is always to not disrupt your life beyond necessity. And again, just circling back around to, I'm happy that that you found yourself in a groove and that you are achieving results that you're happy with. And my purpose is only to ask the question, are we completely satisfied with the way that things are going, or are there improvements, adjustments, modifications that you are interested in order to achieve greater results? And that's it. And
Yeah.
if like it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're happy, you're happy. Like that's what it always comes down to. If you're happy, then you're killing it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And there is no rule. There's no it's individual, you know?
True. 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 Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely puzzling to me as well. But at the same time, man, I'm extremely pumped and like proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? Um, for keeping track. And even last week, man, I had tons of reasons to not keep up with the eating, to not exercise, to not to stuff my face with all the available sweets.
Hmm.
And I was in a different uh, surrounding or amongst different people, and I could have just fell off the wagon, man. But yeah, I've been really feeling good, man. I've been really
That's
feeling good.
awesome.
And it's weird, I was thinking it the other day. I'm 6, 7 pounds scale wise, 6, 7 pounds heavier than I was from my wedding, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not mad because I feel like first of all, I feel better than I did those 6, 7 pounds ago during that period, and my body just feels and looks better than it
Oh
did
yeah.
then.
Hell yeah.
So like I said, I know as far as the scale, I know it's muscle. Um, but yeah, I got to make the tweaks, man. I got to make the tweaks.
And just to give you some added perspective, I'll be transparent. There was because I'm on my own weight loss journey. Like I said, I've already mentioned it. My goal is to hit 5% body fat this fucking year. I'm tired of talking about it. I just want it done. Um, but yeah, so that's my goal. And I understand that whenever, again, it's not even about weight for me, it's about body fat percentage and body composition. But I
Yeah,
also understand that whenever I step on the scale and I see the weight go up, I'm going in the opposite direction. Period. I'm just going in the opposite direction. If I'm heavier than I was last week, right? So this past week I had a health issue, digestive related. And, you know, I will admit that I'm the type of person who likes to build momentum. And then when something occurs that derails my nutrition and my workouts and stuff like that, and that it's been happening for the past couple of weeks now. It's very annoying. I'm not going to bore you with the whole stuff, but anyway, there was one day where I just was frustrated and I did some emotional eating. I called it a cheat day, right? And I ended up eating between 4,500 calories and 5,000 calories. Went to a movie, had popcorn, you know what I mean? Like, did the whole cheat meal, cheat day thing, right? One day of a calorie surplus. Every other fucking day, I was coming in below my maintenance needs for calories, right? Stepped on the scale today and I was a pound heavier. So, and I'm saying this to give you some perspective, like it really is calories in, calories out, and even one day of overeating, because I will admit that when it came to every other day besides that one day of a surplus, my deficit wasn't really that significant. It wasn't 500. It was more like 200 on one day, 300 on another day, 100 on another day. So that all adds up to where that one day of being in a surplus of over 2,000 calories,
Yeah.
guess what? That surplus is still here.
Yeah.
It's chilling.
Yeah.
So,
Man,
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead. Go
that was
ahead.
it. That was it. That was
No,
it.
no, go ahead.
No,
When
it
was
was
this? How long ago was this?
this happened this week.
Oh man.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Man, speaking of food related stuff, I remember Tuesday, 4th of July, right? 4th of July, or maybe Wednesday, I sent you the 4th of July food.
Hmm.
And I was so, proud of myself. I excuse the noise, I apologize in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I was at a barbecue, right?
Hmm.
And and there's this and there's that, as barbecues have.
Hmm.
And Vito once again stuck with it despite what's going on, where I was at. And I had two burger patties, lettuce wrapped, two hot dogs, or one plain and one bacon, lettuce wrapped. And I'm thinking, you know what, Vito, you're doing great. Keep it up. Keep going. Everybody else is, oh man, what are you doing? You're gonna have a hot dog. Two people. You're gonna have a hot dog on lettuce? Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I send you my stuff. Can you neg me out? Oh, what you could was that a cheat day, Vito? I'm thinking this motherfucker. I'm fucking eating.
Let me see
I'm
if I
I'm
could.
I'm I'm
Yeah.
cutting the carbs. The meat, the protein is should be
Oh,
good.
yeah, no, that's because I was literally trying to do the calculations. And again, it always goes back to it's because you're not tracking calories, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's like, yeah, I'm looking at the day. It was one green apple with 3 spoons of melted peanut butter. 1 tablespoon or 1 or 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is like 190 calories, right? So
Okay.
again, like I'm keeping this in mind. So you got the 190 calories from peanut butter, then you got the Gatorade protein bar. That's at minimum 200 calories, maybe 230 calories. One serving of yellow rice with chicken and mixed vegetables, rice, another 200 calories. The burgers, that's 300 calories a piece.
All right.
So like this is the math that like I'm doing on my end. Bacon wrapped hot dogs, that's probably like fucking 250 a piece. So that's 500 right there. And a chocolate cake. Chocolate
I
cake,
did have
another,
I did have, I did
yeah,
have the slice. I
yeah,
forgot about
another
that.
another 400 calories. So
Yeah.
again, it's like mentally you can think you're fucking killing it, which is fine. And
Yeah.
you can feel it. You can feel like you're killing it, like physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all the things you could feel like you're killing it. But again, when it comes to weight loss, calories in, calories out. And on that specific day, it does not look like you actually achieved a deficit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also didn't exercise that day,
Yeah,
or the day prior, or the day.
yeah.
uh,
And again, like this kind of stuff is exciting for me
Yeah.
because it's just a changing of perspective and it's a re-education,
Yeah.
you know? So
Yeah.
it's I don't know, it is kind of cool. Like when you think about it like that, like
It is really cool, and
yeah.
like it's awesome. Like for the people watching this, it's like you're glowing. It's as if you're 13 and you're describing the girl that kissed you for the first time. Like you're
Yeah.
glowing. And I love that. As your brother, I love
Right.
that.
Yeah.
As like watching your other videos, which go check those out. I watch those all the time that you load them. I watch them, here at work.
Hmm.
And you glow there too, man. It's
That's
awesome.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. But I think that you bringing up the 4th of July meal day is a really great example to emphasize what is actually happening, where you can go through an entire day and make conscious, intentional, mindful decisions when it comes to your eating. And then when the day is over, you feel like you won the day because everything that you put in your mouth, you did intentionally.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And that is fine. I do want to
Yeah.
make that clear.
Yeah.
But if the goal is fat loss, then you have to maintain a deficit.
I get it.
Hmm.
I
And
get
and another tip, and again, we can there, I will always reaffirm these, like I'll always like circle back
it.
around to these things. Another tip is if you want to increase your metabolic rate, which I have a suspicion that your metabolism we might have to increase your metabolism because right now, based off of what you're sending me, it still looks like you're not eating on average more than like 2,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
So it looks like that might be where your metabolic rate is at, where like
Yeah.
you're burning around 2,000 calories a day. So a great way to combat that and increase your metabolism, muscle burns more than fat. So the more muscle you have on your body, the higher your metabolic rate will be. So that's just
Now
something to
that
keep in mind.
Yes, now that I've learned before. I've heard that before. Yeah, yeah. Like it's weird. Like today, for example, uh amazing workout, cardio, weights. And I was when I got home, yeah, I was a little hungry.
Hmm.
Made myself uh nice little smoothie, the smoothies that I have sent you in the past that I drank.
Hmm.
Um and I thought maybe like, okay, I'm gonna be more hungry. I It's weird. Like today, like hardly no appetite, um, compared to Saturday. Saturday, a fucking once another great workout, and maybe not Saturday was I hungry, but then Sunday I
Hmm.
felt as if fucking I hadn't eaten for a day or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, man, it's but yeah, this is a great journey, man. We're week 5, we said, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
3 more, man. I'm still very much so committed to your brand, and myself, more importantly, myself. Last week I could have easily, being in my thoughts, being in my head,
Yeah.
being in my emotions. I had maybe a sliver of a moment thinking, man,
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
but
I don't know what happened yet, but I'm personally really proud of you, because
thank you.
whenever moments unexpected arise in a person's life, it always presents as an opportunity, one that I oftentimes take advantage of, where it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting this stress,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know, and all right, well, in order to acknowledge this stress, I'm gonna go out and fucking go to the nearest Burger King, and I do that.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm grateful that I'm at the point now where I let that happen for a day, as
Yep.
opposed to in the past I would let it happen for a week or
Yep.
two or
Yep.
longer.
Yep.
But you didn't do that, and I'm really proud of you for that, because that's
And
always a
I,
great
appre-
opportunity.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
And once again, more importantly, I'm proud of myself because just
Hmm.
like you, and you know me, you know me.
Yeah.
I would have easily, or maybe not completely fell off the wagon,
Hmm.
but would have said, "Oh, I'm elsewhere for a week. I'm amongst other family, and
Yeah.
and everybody's fucking picking out themselves.
Yeah.
Fucking let me hang out."
Yeah.
Make convince myself, oh, eat this week, and the next week,
Hmm.
you'll
Hmm.
get back on it.
Hmm.
But no, man, I'm really in a groove, man. Like I said, I'm human. I'm Vito. I'm still having
Yeah.
my sweets daily,
Hmm.
except today. Now that I'm thinking about it, nothing sweet today. It's only 8:30, so who
Hmm.
knows?
Yeah.
But like once again, and I'm sure I say this every week, me, myself, little victories.
Yeah.
You know, my sweets are you know, I went from 3 bags of Famous Amos to, I mean, granted, I haven't had any, you know, I'm eating other treats, but I think last time I had Famous Amos last week, 2 bags. You know, so it's like, you know, and then seeing my body in the mirror was like, oh yeah, man, like you're looking good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's exciting, man, and 3 more
Absolutely.
weeks, 3 more weeks.
Yeah. And another thing that I'll say, understanding that you do have a sweet tooth just like I do. And again, this is just food for thought, acknowledging that beyond the 3 weeks of this 8 week program,
Mm-hmm,
again, it goes back to a lifestyle. And
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I will always encourage you to be, again, it goes back to the 80/20 and to be more mindful of filling your body with nutrition. And just because you're focusing on nutrition being the thing that you're eating most often doesn't mean that the nutrition can't be good. I mean, we're living in 2023 now, and there are just so many options available. Some have already referenced like Halo Top ice cream. That is an ice cream. It tastes delicious, especially when you mix it with, in my opinion, peanut butter powder. 330 grams, 300 calories, 330 calories for a pint, as opposed to Ben and Jerry's. That same pint is going to be 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
You know?
Speaking of the and
Hmm.
last thing I'll bore the viewers with. Yeah, last week, family and I we made a quick store run.
Hmm.
We were elsewhere. We made a quick store run. We're thinking, oh, let's grab this, let's grab that for the week. I grabbed my yogurts. I mean, of course, fucking, you know, people in the house just gotta have Vito's fucking diet yogurts, you know, when you have everything else. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, it was, you know, it was like they were there and I had them. I had them as you know, my little snack, you know,
Hmm.
to kind of like have that little sweet, you know, and but yeah, man, and like now it's funny that you mentioned the peanut butter powder because
Hmm.
I used to add peanut butter to my smoothies, and I'm sure, of course, I will continue.
Hmm.
But these past couple of days, making my smoothie, I'm using the powder. I'm using the
Yeah.
peanut butter powder. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
yeah, and not to belabor the point, I'm recently becoming more and more aware. There's people who are literally specializing, like they're making it their profession to make cookbooks that like tend to a person's desire to eat healthy while actually experiencing sweets, flavor,
yeah,
things of that
yeah,
nature.
yeah,
Making your own protein ice cream or your own fucking cookies, your own protein cookies or
yeah,
your own
yeah, yeah.
protein peanut butter chocolate fudge things.
Wow, yeah,
And
that's
they
cool.
are low in calories, high in protein, and they taste good.
Oh yeah,
Um, I haven't invested in these cookbooks yet,
yeah,
but like I said, this is a lifetime, and I can totally see myself getting more hands-on when it comes to that stuff. That way I don't have to, because like right now, when I'm on it, I'm on a restriction. And the only times that like I really indulge is when I get Halo Top like once a week, and like that's my treat for the week, and it's like my healthy treat.
yeah,
But most days it's like I'm not eating really sweet stuff, but that's just how it's just
yeah,
I'm simplifying things right now.
yeah,
But I can see myself as time passes looking to incorporate other healthy ways to stimulate myself. So
yeah,
yeah.
man.
Well,
Awesome, man.
cool.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
this chat, man. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
We will cut recording and we'll aim to link up on week 6.
Yeah, man.
All right. See you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.